Good morning, ladies. This is Carla with Truth on a Treadmill, and it is Sunday morning, and I am already dressed for church, so I won't be walking on this treadmill very long. But I wanted to come to you today and just remind you of a few Bible verses about worship. My week has been extremely busy. I teach college classes and high school classes, and I gave 4 tests this week, and I'm still madly trying to grade them. And other things have come in to make the week very crazy for me. But always, as we go through our lives and they become busier and more hectic and crazy, let's always remember not to forsake worship. You know, it's easy to get so busy that we think, oh, well, I'll just, throw something on the TV set and I'll worship in my living room. Or maybe I'll worship while I'm sailing the sailboat this afternoon. Whatever it is, corporate worship is important to us and to God. So I wanted to remind you of a few verses to encourage you to worship corporately with the local body that you go to. Worship the Lord in the splendor of His holiness. Tremble before Him, all the earth. And then another verse, exalt the Lord our God and worship at His footstool. He is holy. And then in Acts 14:27, the concept of worshiping together so much more is very apparent. On arriving there, they gathered the church together and reported all that God had done through them and how He had opened a door of faith to the Gentiles. And then in Acts 27, on the first day of the week, we came together to break bread. Paul spoke to the people, and because he intended to leave the next day, kept on talking until midnight. And then, of course, the very famous verse that we quote a lot, Hebrews 10:25, not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another, and so much the more as we see the day approaching. And as we get crazier and crazier in our lives, I think it's evidence that we need to gather together more and more. We need our anchor, and God left us fellowship in the church to help us to anchor ourselves. Of course, His Word is our anchor. He is our anchor. But the local body is our anchor as well. It steadies us. It supports us. It holds us up when things are not going well. And sometimes it may need to exhort us or even rebuke us because we've gotten our priorities out of order. So, one more verse, and this one is about a worshiper of God. One of those listening was a woman from the city of Thyatira named Lydia, a dealer in purple cloth. She was a worshiper of God, and the Lord opened her heart to respond to Paul's message. I would love for my epitaph on my tombstone to say she was a worshiper of God. How many times a day do I give evidence of that? How many times do I walk through a room and nobody has a clue that I am a worshiper of God? So, I would like us to reflect on worship and also how close are we to that picture of Lydia, who is characterized as a worshiper of God? What does that look like? Should we, go around with, worn out knees because we're on our knees 24/7? I don't think that's what it means. I mean that we should be worshiping in our hearts all the time. We should be praying in our hearts continuously through the Spirit, but we should be gathering together in worship of our Lord and King regularly. And I hope that you will take this to heart. And if you have gotten slack on attending a local body and assembling together as worshipers of God, then I hope that this will kind of be a little nudge in that direction. This is Carla, Truth on a Treadmill, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.